And she didn't smile, she didn't laugh, she didn't chuckle, she didn't do anything that would imply that she thought that I was witty and charming or anything like that.
Do you remember? Do you remember?
Lillian,
Yeah,
are you excited to go home?
kind of, yeah.
Back to Washington?
My birthday.
Who's excited? Are you guys excited?
My birthday. This is what I got for my elf on the shelf.
Cool, he's gonna be styling now.
This is what I got for my elf on the shelf.
Let's see that. For the elf on the shelf.
It's a reindeer and it actually flies. Look what I got for Judy.
What did you get for Judy? Judy is Lillian's elf on the shelf.
And my birthday's on December 14th, so it's in 15 days now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the elf on the shelf reindeer. If you like Mason's elf on the shelf reindeer, then like this video. Right? We just about got the car packed up and we're ready to head back to Washington, guys. We got about a 10-hour drive. We're gonna be on the road for like 10 hours. And then we got some movies for you guys to watch. We got, what do you guys want to watch first? There's Elf or The Groods.
The Glue.
Elf is a really good movie. It's about how people who are different shouldn't be allowed to fit in. And then we got Groods, which is about how you should fight against change. Okay? What do you guys want to watch first?
No, Elf. No, Kit.
Elf.
And here we go. Erica and the kids are right up there. I'm following them. I guess they're going left for some reason. And I'm driving in my parents' Buick. It's full of stuff. And we are heading back up to Washington. It's been good hanging out here in... Let me roll up this window. I don't know if that's... you're picking up the window noise or not, but it's been good. Spent about a week here in California, Merced, California. Wasn't a whole lot going on, nothing like really exciting, a lot of just hanging out, so I didn't vlog a whole lot. My dad borrowed a, what do you call it, a side-by-side? I don't know what exactly it was. It's kind of like an all-terrain vehicle, kind of like a little four-wheeler type thing, but with a roll cage that you sit next to somebody in. We took the kids out, rode on that for a little bit. That was kind of fun. Let's see what else. Oh, and then my kids found my grandmother's walker, which is always nice. It's amazing what you can turn into a jungle gym when you put your mind to it. Other than that, there wasn't a whole lot, just kind of a lot of hanging out. But it's kind of cool to be back in Merced. This is where I met my wife. Merced is where Erica and I met. So it kind of reminds me back when, you know, we were younger, when we were courting, stuff like that. So that's kind of nice. So what happened was, my parents moved here to Merced, California when I was like 21, 22, something like that. And I was just about ready to start going to school in Utah. And that summer before I started school, I came here to Merced to visit my parents for a few weeks. And during that time is when I met my wife. Like every Monday night, the young single adults in the church get together and have a little activity. And it was at somebody's house, and I was gonna go, but I was helping my parents. I was like painting their deck, and it was taking longer than I thought it would, so I was like, I'm not gonna go. I don't want to go for the very end of it. And when I got done, I ate real quick, and I was like, you know what else am I gonna do? I might as well go. So I hurried and got dressed, got showered, hopped in the car, and drove over to these guys' house for this Monday night activity. And I was about 30 minutes late. It only lasted like an hour, so it was almost over by the time I got there. And I pull up And they had one of those circular driveways where you could just pull in and then you pull around and then you can drive out. So I pull around to one side of that driveway and park and start walking up to the front door, right as Erica was parking and walking up the opposite side of the driveway. So I just remember looking and seeing this hot chick at the other end of the driveway, and there was this like awkward 7 seconds of us walking towards each other. We were walking towards the front door, but at the same time we were walking towards each other, and it was just kind of awkward. So I just see this hot chick walking towards me, and I remember just thinking to myself, think of something funny, think of something like witty. What am I gonna say to her? So right as we are about to meet and walk up this pathway to the front door, I said to her, "Hey, don't you know it's rude to be 30 minutes late to a church activity?" And she didn't smile, she didn't laugh, she didn't chuckle, she didn't do anything that would imply that she thought that I was witty and charming or anything like that. And then she says, "Well, you're late too." And I said, "Yeah, well, I have a note for my mom, so what's your excuse?" And then she ignored me, and then she, went into the, house, and I thought that was that. I thought that was, over with. But apparently I think that some other girls there were looking at me, and she noticed that, so she got jealous. So then she invited me to go with her friends out to ice cream afterwards or something like that. And then sure enough, we started dating and got married and had 3 kids and then started a YouTube channel. That's how it all played out. That's how it all started. So for right now, we are on the road heading north up highway, I think this is Highway 99, and then we'll get on the 5, and then we'll head up to Oregon and ultimately to Washington and be home. It's kind of nice to know that by the time we get home, it'll be dark and our day will be over. So that's what we're doing. Lillian, you can't get a big one.
There's no cookie doughs and anything else.
You can get a small one, but not a big one. So here I'm trying to be a good dad and get my kids a treat. Oh, guys, that's the problem. I'm too nice. Life would be so much easier if my kids would just agree on one thing. Mason wanted these. Problem is they come in a box of 12, so I don't know what we're gonna do. What are we gonna do with 11 of these, Mason?
Mason and you'll each get 6.
I don't want to eat 6 of these. So Lillian's like, "Oh, we'll just give the rest to a homeless person." It's like 40 degrees outside. We're gonna go up to a homeless person and be like, "Here's some popsicles. Have fun freezing afterwards."
Sounds like Kirsten McCall.
I'm not sure if I have a club card number or not. Let's see. Ooh, I do have a club card number. We just saved $2. Okay, now we need to go find spoons so you guys can eat your overly priced ice cream in the car. Come on. Do you have spoons? I need to find plastic spoons for the kids. Jamba Juice doesn't have spoons. Starbucks doesn't have spoons. Let's try the deli. Oh, those won't work. Those are soup spoons.
Okay, give them bigger spoons.
We need ice cream spoons.
Here, let's go.
So I just got a phone call from Erica, who's in the van ahead of me with all the kids, and she says we got to pull over again because Luke has to go to the bathroom. And this is the difference in parenting between me and Erica. I say, great, let's pull over on the side of the road. We'll find a safe place to pull over. It's perfect because it's dark, no one can see, and we'll lose 2 minutes tops. We'll pull over, we'll be on the road in 2 minutes. Erica says, no, that's not a good idea. It's not safe. There is a town coming up called Weed, California. Don't get me started about the name. I was wondering though what their high school mascot would be. I'll have to look that up. I'm curious what the town of Weeds high school mascot would be. Is it a giant weed? Do other teams come to your football games and bring Roundup or something? I don't know. But anyway, so we pull over in weed, and this is why I don't like stopping at gas stations to go to the bathroom. Well, they're you know, crowded and disgusting for one, but also when you have kids in a car for 5 hours or whatever, and you get them out and go into a gas station, convenience store, it's like they are going into Chuck E. Cheese. They're running around, they're going crazy, they're so excited, like everything becomes a toy, they need everything, and rightfully so. I mean, I get it, they're stuck in a car and it kind of helps the trip go faster if you break it up and you have a little something to eat or whatever. But this is why I think my kids will do all right in life. They are expert negotiators. They should be real estate agents when they grow up. They're way better than I am at negotiating. They're like, they know if they bring a candy bar to the register, I'm gonna be like, no, we already have snacks in the car, we don't need that. But instead of bringing one candy bar, they bring like 5 things. And they're like, I need all this, and I'm like, just pick one thing, just one thing. So then they get their one thing. But then they learn this. Instead of, you know, settling for the one thing, then they're like, well, I'll get this one thing, but then Luke and I want to get gummy bears, so we'll split it. Like, I'll get my one thing, he'll get his one thing, and then we'll share the gummy bears. Is that cool, Dad? And I'm like, okay, that's fair. But then Lillian's like, okay, well, if Mason's sharing something with Luke, then I want to share these licorice with Luke. And then Mason's like, but then what am I gonna share? I need something to share. And then I got this ethical dilemma where I'm like, okay, now we need to even things out where everybody gets something and something that they can share. And then before you know it, I pull out of the convenience store $25 poorer than I was when I went in. That's why I'm like, let's just pull over and the kids can pee on the side of the road. It's just saves time, saves money, but what do I know? I mean, I'm just the guy paying for it. On the plus side, I did get an Abba Zaba. I haven't had one of these since I was a kid. These are awesome, or so I remember. It's like white taffy with peanut butter in the center. From what I remember as a kid, they take like an hour to eat because they're so chewy. So the good news is I'll start eating it now, and then I'll finish it somewhere halfway through Oregon, probably.